Yeah, Lawrence, good morning.
Good morning to you.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a minute.
It has. It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah, the same period yenye Salim hakuwa we pia hukuwa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are back here. Yes,
Yes.
the councils.
Which council are you talking about? You know, the certain words that you're not. Anyway,
We kwanza usijui kama unaniona.
I'm trying to be nice. Yes, actually, it looks very, very good.
Yeah, now
It looks so good, by the way. Now that I've seen it.
tuheshimiane.
Yes. Yeah. Salim has got a gift. He's received a gift from our guest,
Yes,
and it's a phone cover.
It's not a bribe.
from our very able lawyer,
It's leaning.
advocate.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah. You happy?
very happy.
Yeah.
You see the way.
At least you came back and somebody welcomed you with a gift.
Yes. Thank you very much, Wakili.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure.
These are the friends that you should keep around.
His first gift of the week. Anyway,
Yeah.
welcome back, Lawrence.
Thank you so
I know
much.
we want to talk about investing with somebody that you are in a relationship with.
Yes.
What the law says about that. But before we do that,
Yes.
yeah, there were demolitions over the weekend
Mhm.
in Makongeni Estate,
Yes.
right? And this was to pave way for affordable housing project.
Indeed.
And there were complaints from some people who said that the notice was too short.
Yeah.
There was compensation, right?
Mhm.
There's some who say they have been compensated, the wengine wanasema bado.
Yeah.
But now the Environment and Land Court, has now suspended the planned eviction of residents of Makongeni Estate, and this halting any demolition of homes. What does this mean? First of all, why are they making this decision now,
Yes.
after the demolitions?
Not after. Maybe we need to correct that. It's during the demolitions.
During.
During.
But people have lost their homes.
lakini sheria see it you have to do.
Let's talk about it properly.
Okay.
It is evictions that are being done.
Yeah.
So evictions to pave way for demolitions so that the new project can kick off.
Yes.
So we need to understand that indeed notice might have been given, but if it's not sufficient, then indeed you can consider the humane aspect of it. We've had cases. There's a very famous case here in Kenya called the Me Too Bell case. This case talks about not to treat human beings inhumanely, especially during evictions.
Yeah.
So do not just kick people out and let them sleep on the streets, throw their wares out there without actually considering the humanity aspect of it.
Yeah.
And it stemmed out of a similar eviction that was happening at a different place. And the court stamped its authority that consider humanity when you're dealing with this.
Yeah.
Now, to answer your question, you're asking why now? Of course, you know, when it reaches the 11th hour is when people wake up. Someone might have gotten the notice maybe in January, maybe in February, and then they thought that they still had time.
Yeah.
Someone thought that they would contest it. Someone thought that compensation would come fast.
Yeah.
Someone thought that they would have thought about a different way. They would have been given more time. They've lived probably there more than 10 years, more than. So you don't just wake up and leave a place you've lived for more than 6 years in 2 hours. So when the notice also comes out, you need to be given sufficient notice so that you can actually arrange yourself and organize where you're going and things like that.
Yeah.
That is why the court intervenes.
And you said humanely, right?
Yes,
You
yes.
mentioned that.
Yes.
Some of these residents have stayed there they made it their home,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And emotions, I know we tend to be emotional, but I've been here for some time and this is home.
Yes.
When we're looking at people who've been in a place for 20 years,
Yeah.
more than that, and I know it's government's land.
Mhm.
I think my question should be like, is the government is the government in of course it is in because it's its piece of land, but when it comes to now the human aspect of it, these people have stayed there for some period of time, a good
Yes.
period of time.
Yes.
As they are evicting them and giving them compensation, should the government go to the extent of even
Relocating.
yes,
In certain instances, it has been argued that relocation is better than compensation.
yeah,
Especially with the fact that there is legitimate expectation that someone would expect that, of course, I'm in a habitat. So giving me like 2 million shillings will not grant me the habitat that I was in. So, and again, if you give someone in liquid cash, other people tend to squander their amounts. So you remember that at the time when the late Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga was the Minister of I think it was Public Works, something of the sort. And there was a transition of people from the low-income dwelling places in Kibra to be moved into newly constructed developments. They actually laid out a foundation and informed the people that you are being given a unit. You're not being paid to move from the slum. You're given a unit, and then you're supposed to transition into that unit. Once you transition there, if you leave and then rent out your place, that's a different case. So that aspect of before you demolish the place, you consider the process of moving the people slowly, and then you have no complaints. But in this instance, someone would say, I've already given you 1 million shillings. We've prorated. The longer you've been there, possibly the less you're being paid or the more you're being paid, and then you're supposed to up and leave. No, it should not work like that. Especially if you're considering, the oxymoron is here. Someone is rendering you homeless so that they can build a house. Do you understand how it sounds wrong?
It is.
That someone is throwing you to the streets so that they can build homes, and then you apply so that you can come back. During the time that they're constructing this, you probably would have died out there.
And they say that they're giving you first priority. But also when you're looking at the compensation, the compensation here is, now this is now from Makadara Member of Parliament, Georgia Ladwa. The government is giving them 150,000 relocation facilitation. Is that even sufficient? Would they have even contested that and say that we need more?
Ideally, there is what they could have gone, and I believe it forms part of the case that has given birth to this order, is a legitimate expectation of living there over a certain period of time. The legitimate expectation that you will continue living there. When you're talking about relocation allowance is like hiring a moving truck for you. It does not constitute you getting a new place, because remember, you're a tenant, you're not an owner. So they are just saying that we are only paying you for and to enable you carry your wares from one place to another. They're not giving you another place to stay, which now begs the question, does it form part of what would satisfy your legitimate expectation that I was born here, I was going to live here, I've been living here for 16 years, I will continue to live here, and possibly because it's a subsidized housing, the amount I'm paying as rent is 6,000, and maybe the market rate is supposed to be 30,000. So where will I bridge the difference of 24,000? So the legitimate expectation has to be met.
Wakili, hii kitu niliona hata hapa Mombasa pale Pakistan. Kwanza watu wanakaa chini, wanajadiliana. Wale wahusika ambao ni wale walikuwa wanaishi, wapangaji, wale walikuwa wanaishi pale, upande wa serikali na pande zile ambazo kwamba zinahitajika, walikubaliana kwamba tutawafidia 150,000. Hiyo umesema kwamba pengine ni ya kukuhamisha kutoka pale. Nyumba si zako, of course ni zao wenyewe hao, za serikali. Now imefika, serikali haiwezi kukurupuka tu, sisi tunawabomolea nyinyi. Lazima waliwapatia ilani ya kwamba hapa ikifika mwezi fulani, tarehe fulani, tusiwaone.
December 2nd.
Yes.
They were given up until December 2nd.
December ya tarehe 2. Yani between, so kumaanisha kulikuwa na tarehe na mpaka kufikia tarehe 2 ya December muwe mmeondoka hapa. Lakini wao wakaja wakavunja before hata hiyo tarehe. So kama walikaa wakashauriana, hawa wenye kuvunja kisheria wana makosa.
Kuna makosa makubwa. Unajua kuna ile tukisema kwa kimombo ni legitimate expectation, ni yale matarajio yako ya kuwa utaendelea ama utazidi kuishi mahali pale. Kando na hiyo kuna hilo jambo la ilani. Ukiwa umepewa ilani, kabla ilani ifikie hata tarehe yake umeshakuja ukabanduliwa. Pengine ulikuwa umejipanga utasema mimi nitatoka itakapofika tarehe 1, hata si tarehe 2. kuondoa watu na ubomoaji unafaa kufanyika baada ya ilani imekamilika na imepita, na pia wameona ya kuwa hakuna jambo lolote unafanya. Sasa hapa kukaa chini kuzungumza na kupewa fidia, mambo kama hayo, katika yale matarajio yako lazima muwe mnaweza kujadiliana. Kuna suluhisho lingine, kuna jawabu lingine tunaweza patia hali ya kuishi, sababu si pesa. Unajua ukikaa pale vile ambavyo tunasema si kule kukaa kwa upangaji wa kawaida. Kuna ile ambao wamepunguza
upangaji wa ruzuku
kwa kiwango fulani cha kuwa si cha kila mtu. Utapata mimi sikuwa naweza enda Pakistan niweze kuishi pale vile vile. Kuna wale watu ambao walikuwa wametengewa na familia zao na wakaishi hapo kwa muda fulani. Alafu pale wakati ambapo walikuwa wanaishi hapo hawakuwa wanatarajia kuna wakati ambapo watakuja waondolewe. Ndio maana walikuwa wanapewa vitu kama kuambiwa, tukijenga nyumba nyinyi mtapewa nafasi ya kwanza ya kununua. Nyinyi mkinunua mtanunua kwa bei ya chini kushinda wale wengine. Vitu kama hivyo. Sasa hata huku kwingine wanafaa kuwa wamefuatilia vivyo hivyo. Lakini sasa inaonekana ni kama kuna mtu alikuwa na haraka, akaamua hata kabla ilani ishe tuende tuwabandue na tuwatoe tu kinguvu, na sababu ulikuwa unaona pia uwepo wa polisi walikuwa pale kuhakikisha ya kuwa watu wanatolewa.
Now kwa sasa hili ni kosa kulingana na tarehe ambayo kwamba imewekwa.
Ndio.
Kuna fidia nyingine ambayo kwamba hawa ambao wameathirika wakifuatilia wanaweza wakapata, kwa sababu ilani haijafika, haijatamatika, si tumebomolewa, ni kwamba tumedhulumiwa.
Kuna vile koti inaangalia zaidi sana. Unajua koti huwa inaanza na kile ambacho kinaweza onekana. Ile kuna kimombo wanasema tangible, kile unaweza ona na ukagusa. Makosa yale yamefanyika, ama ile uchungu ambao umepata, ile inaweza tambulika kama ni vitu vyako vimepasuliwa, vimerushwa nje, vitu kama hivyo. Alafu jambo la pili, kama umelala nje. Jambo la tatu lile ambalo watu wanaweza zingatia ni vile ambavyo imekufanya ukahisi. Pengine imekuletea aibu, pengine imekuletea madhara ya kiakili, mambo kama hayo. Pia koti itaangalia hizo zote. Alafu wale ambao walifanya vitu bila kufuatilia sheria ama bila kungoja ilani ifike, wataambiwa wajibike.
Now that it's been halted,
yes.
So what happens to those whose homes have already been demolished, and then also the fact that they've also been compensated? What's at play? What happens?
It's not. It now has become not a question of compensation.
Yeah.
It matters not whether you compensated me or not, but if you gave me a notice that you're supposed to leave this place by 8:30 a.m., you come, call security and kick me out of the place, embarrassing me and causing me physical and other forms of damage before it reaches that time, you're already in the wrong. And that's what we're looking at. What will happen to them? What we're looking at is for them to get damages from the court and them to get some sort of restitution if there is such a thing that the government can do.
Yeah.
The government flanks far and wide. They could have even said, we have identified this place that we can relocate these people to start living as we try and demolish, as we make new and better places for them to habit.
Yeah.
But if you just kick people to the curbs, then you're already doing it wrong.
All right.
Especially when the notice has not expired yet.
All right.
Yes.
Let's take a look at another update. That is the case that you're handling, the Shakahola case.
Yes.
Where are we at the moment?
This week we have started with, we are continuing, we took a 1 week break. We're continuing with the manslaughter case. That is a case of manslaughter and attempted suicide. It's before the Chief Magistrate's Court in Mombasa. And as of yesterday, we were at witness number 57. We're dealing with the 57th witness. And so far, we're moving on a bit in a good progress, because we're seeing that at least we are moving step by step. We're looking forward to, by the end of January, to have closed all the 4 cases. One already, we've closed the prosecution's case. We're looking forward that by the end of January, if everything allows, we will have finished, closed the prosecution's case in the murder case, in the manslaughter, and then in radicalization.
Okay. I want to ask, because I was in court, and one of the witnesses spoke about spoke about having been part of it's called what's the church?
Yeah, the
Mackenzie's
church.
yes, having being part of Good News International.
Yes.
Yeah, GNI. I remember the prosecutor saying GNI. He's saying the lady talked about how she was part of GNI at a
Yes.
very early age,
Yes.
right? And the family was there as well. And so with what she was talking about from her perspective, it's like she said when she reached 18, she left, right? And it's going to take me back to the responsibility again of parents.
Yes.
Yes, I know you are the defense attorney, but this is going to take me back to the responsibility of the parents. Also, when it comes to introducing kids to certain things, how liable is a parent in that instant?
First of all, allow me to answer that in the generalized aspect, so
Yes.
that I don't discuss so much what is
Yes.
yet to be discussed.
Yes.
And just to let you yet to be decided on, and just to let you know, indeed that is one of the fundamental areas that the court has to ascertain: to what extent a parent will be held liable for certain decisions that are made by
Yes.
children, especially when they don't have the capacity to make certain decisions. Like, for instance, today, if Salim has told me he has children, if Salim's let me use a son or a daughter.
Yes.
If your son decides that today, let's say you're Muslim and they say that they want to be Christian, are you responsible for their decision, or must you force them to the religion that you take? And in the event that decision to choose a religion impacts them in any way, let's say negatively, will you be responsible as a parent?
You know, Lawrence is now responding like a defense attorney, but I need you to be impartial on this one.
ameniweka kwa fix.
So Miriam, the basic thing is that those are the questions that we'll be grappling with in terms of, or rather the judicial officer has to struggle with when they're dealing with allocating responsibility, because there are instances where you see, it's been reported all over, that certain children were there without their parents. And certain children followed a certain religion even after their parents left. And others were just following their parents, and you find that certain children made certain decisions. Now, does a child have the capacity to make decisions? That is something else. But in terms of what you were in court and what you might have heard regarding that, it is interesting to see now that we are normally discussing family matters and responsibilities of parents. For us to sensitize parents so that they can know to what extent will you be liable for the decision making by your child, and at what age does a child's ascertainable wishes come to play, because that also is also provided for in the Children's Act. At a certain age, you have to listen to the ascertainable wishes of a child, and that age is just beyond the age of tender years. That is 10 and above. So if a child has an opinion, you as an adult or a third party have a legal responsibility to listen to it
and follow through. So what you're saying is my 10-year-old can say she wants to do something
give it
and
consideration
and consider it.
Yes,
That's a good thing. We can consider.
Mbona ni kama umeanza kuwa mkali?
No. So you didn't give it
hiyo word ya
consideration.
kuconsider umesema and consider na umekuwa mkali.
And consider.
because let's say for argument's sake that the two of you are parents to a child, and you have a difference in terms of the decision making for the child, and you end up in court. Under the same principle of listening to the ascertainable wishes of the child, the court can request for the child to be brought to court, and the two of you to leave the room, so in camera, so that this child can tell the court his or her ascertainable wishes, which the court will take into consideration if it is not coaching. So the court will come say, Miriam, you wanted to live with the child. Salim, you wanted to live with a child, or you wanted this child to go there to this and this place. But going by the ascertainable wishes of the child and considering the best interest of the child wants to go with Lawrence. So the court makes a decision that is based on the best interest of the child, but considers the ascertainable wishes of the child. Ni
So-
mapema sana, eh?
Yeah, because I'm thinking, so meaning at 10,
Yeah.
but they're kids.
Yeah.
A child of tender years, that is 9 and below,
Yes.
that doesn't apply.
Okay.
But you see, a child who's
10.
hits the age of 10 and they're able to communicate.
hiyo ndio ile ya kwa
They are
dini.
forming thoughts. They are appreciating the environment. So you may think that you're doing certain things for your child, but your child is seeing it from a different perspective.
Okay. All right, then now let's get into it.
History ya watoto.
Love,
Need to
money,
revisit.
and the law.
What about the future?
Yeah. Love, money, and the law. What happens when you invest together but are not married? And this is our conversation of the day today. And we have situations where you get involved with somebody and you care about them, and love gets in the way. And you're like, okay, let's build together, right? And for all the right reasons. We see people do that. I mean, like, put our money together. What does the law say about couples who invest together but are not married?
Ideally, I don't want to be too legalese or bring
Okay,
the
let's
legal let's
bring
break
it,
it down.
Let's break it down.
Yes.
I'm in a relationship with this guy.
Yes.
Okay, we care about each other, and then moving forward, 1 year, 2 years, we decide that we're going to start something together, start a business.
Yes.
Right? And so he brings, I put up a plan, and then he sees that, oh, this is a beautiful idea. And so he decides he's going to invest in it. Right? Okay, so we're going to do 2 parts. One part is, I've put together a beautiful proposal, and he's decided to put money in it. Right? That is part 1. And so this is growing. It's my idea, and the business is growing. Part 2, we both decide to put money in it. In such a circumstance, what should we both know before I go to the breakup?
What the two of you need to know is that this is business.
Okay.
Number 1. Number 2, what the two of you need to know that you're not married. Therefore, any and everything that is brought to the table is brought from 2 different estates. By estate, I mean you as an individual. If anything should happen to you, your family members will lay claim on that estate as per your succession.
Yeah.
And the same applies to him, wherever or whatever he puts in. Now, the most ideal thing would be for someone or 2 people to come up with a contract. If it's a partnership agreement, if it's a basic contract, if it's a loan agreement, if it's a joint venture, if it's an investment agreement, you have all those options. Because if the idea is yours and him is just pumping in money, then you can do an investment agreement.
Okay.
If you're both bringing things to the table, say I'm bringing the expertise, you bring the money and a little bit of your expertise, you can bring in a joint venture. You can prepare a joint venture. Or if one is bringing an asset and the other one is bringing expertise, then still a joint venture would work. In this joint venture, in this agreement, you need to discuss who has brought in what and write it down. And you need also to bring in the aspect of how to share profit. Because you don't want a scenario where the business has grown, one person is edging the other. Maybe the other person has even trusted, let's say Salim has trusted you to say that let everything be registered in your name. And then one day you want to up and leave, say that this is registered in my name. But Salim has the bank transfer, says that I transferred money there.
Yes.
With an agreement that I am an investor, be it a silent investor or an active investor. So in essence, when you're trying to look at property from a point of view that 2 persons who are not married, then you're looking at a pure contractual relationship.
Okay. So
Take out the love, take out the relationship, deal with it as a contract.
I would like to take out the love, but also, you see,
Yes.
the reason why Salim can trust me enough to give me his money, it's because he's like, oh, but I care. And then love gets in the way. There's a case of a lady. I think we mentioned this story here. This man, he invested in the lady's business.
Yes.
Right? He saw prospect, and so he put money in it. And then the business didn't take off. So he lost money. So he went to court and claimed that he needed that. And from the lady's perspective, it was very, how do you call it?
Amorphous. It
Yes.
was very fluid.
It was because but you're my partner, you gave me money and I did not promise. So we make such mistakes when we are in relationships, right?
It's not a mistake. Investing in someone is not a mistake at all.
Is it mistake? No.
The mistake is
we
not
do not think about
documenting.
contracts. Yes, we do not
Yes.
think about documenting
Yes.
when we are in these relationships.
Yes.
So I know you're not a therapist or
nakusikiza mimi.
because nini?
Wewe nakusikiza wewe mimi leo alafu ndo nipate majibu. Endelea.
I'm asking all the right questions.
Nakusikiza kwa makini, nataka kufunga mtu mahali. Endelea.
In this instance where
Yes.
out of goodwill,
Yes.
I have given you money out of goodwill, right? And then you decide, because now we're not together,
To claim back what is.
to claim back what you gave me. But because all this drama happened when people break up.
Yes.
So I want to look at the mistakes that we make first when we're getting into such businesses with our partners or the people that we're dating. And these are people we're not married to. Yes.
From a legal standpoint is that, in a marriage, in case anything goes south, then you have the regime that has already been written. That is the division of matrimonial property. And they say that anything and everything that is made during the pendency of the marriage forms part and parcel of matrimonial property.
Yeah.
So you might have bought a car while married to Salim and it's registered in your name. Salim never contributed a shilling and everything. By the point of a divorce, then it comes up that Salim says, I have a percentage in that car.
How?
It's because he was affording you companionship. He gave you peace of mind for you to be able to make that money.
Could drive God.
You see, he says he drove the car. Maybe it had a mechanical knockdown. He came and checked it for you. He washed the car for you. He even companionship in itself is contribution. He took it to the garage one time.
Yes.
Something like that.
So
That in itself, in today's interpretation and in the liberal interpretation of what matrimonial property constitutes, it is also contribution.
So that's under the confines of marriage.
That is within the confines of marriage. So
Yeah.
I want our listeners to understand that it is not just what you contribute.
Yes.
It goes far and beyond in terms of interpretation.
Okay.
And that's why it would be safe for you, if you're in a marriage, you'd say, it's okay, register in your name. Let me register this in my name, because there is the unspoken rule of holding in trust for and on behalf. All right? The best way is to have it jointly. But in those instances where you can't have it jointly, then there's that aspect of holding in trust.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to someone you are dating and someone you are in a relationship with, and you choose to go the extra mile of investing together, doing business together, when things go south, that you are no longer together, then of course we will have to look at it as a contract. And within that contract, we will look at who has brought in what. You cannot start saying that unless it was a gift, and you can say that, yes, you gifted me this, and that you don't take it back. And what constitutes a gift? It is what has been expressed as a gift. If someone gifts you a phone, if someone gifts you a car, and then it's registered in your name, then that is in essence yours.
Okay. Go back to when it's expressed as a gift.
Yes.
Meaning I'm intentional and I've said this is a gift.
Yes.
Okay. So I cannot claim that car back because I see people claim cars back.
Especially when it's, okay, now this is the other thing. When someone gifts you something, is it registered in your name or their name?
Oftentimes.
In yours.
What if it's registered in their name? That means it's not.
Then that's not a gift. Because why would I give you a gift and still retain it in my name? I have leased it to you. I have lent it to you to use. That one you're only using the interest in it, but it does not belong to you. There was a very Salim. There was a very famous case of one of your media personalities who was enjoying very good things, and then rumors were that even the car that she was driving had to be taken away in the middle of the road, something like that.
Pale Kilimani.
I'm not mentioning names. I'm just saying what I read out there.
Yes.
But you see, she could not approach any court because nothing belonged to her. You had been lent something to use. You formed an idea that it was yours, but it was not yours. But if someone gifts you a car, then they register it in your name. If someone gives you a piece of land that is yours, it's in your name. In the event that it's a business you're running and they pump in money and they want the money back, you want to claim that it was a gift, then you have to prove that indeed it was a gift. Otherwise, he or she becomes a silent investor in that business.
Yeah.
And then that business, looking at the projections, you look at the books of the account and everything, you may find yourself with a debt, even if the business had gone down.
Okay. So what then should I know if I want to get into
investing?
If I want to invest with my partner, what should I know?
I will talk about 2 or 3 things. Maybe they may stray to 4. Number one is remember that this is not a marriage. If it's not a marriage, everything has to be documented. Which brings me to number 2. Prepare documentation that express intentions. And then number 3, in the continuity of that business, continue to have a record, so that it is actually recorded that this is how the way people say you don't have Excel sheets in relationships. You need to have that Excel sheet so that you know that it's independently being run by so and so, and they're doing this and that. If one of you is working there, let them draw a salary as a person who is working there. And then the final thing that one needs to remember in terms of the checklist, if one is investing with a person they're not married to, is that at any given time, this relationship may end. And if it does end, everything that you brought in now can be claimed by your own people, not the other person, because it's not survivorship. Survivorship is where if you have invested with Salim and God forbid one of you dies, survivorship means that the one who is surviving takes up the share of the other.
Yes.
So it means that even if you had a family, a husband, a child and everything, they cannot lay claim to that because you had said it's survivorship. So it goes automatically to the other person.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So even when you're preparing your documentation and you're trying to safeguard your own, do not agree to something that talks about survivorship. Because that means that you never know if your demise may be natural or unnatural. Because someone, there was a long time I saw a story where someone, out of his benevolence, quote unquote, decided to take life insurances for the family members, and all of a sudden the family members started dying out, and then he started cashing out this life insurance here in Kenya. Someone did that a while back. It was reported in the news, and he took life insurances for the cousin and another cousin, and then after some point, like 2-3 years, the time of maturity is coming, they started dying off, and then he started becoming more and more rich because he's cashing in on the millions. So not that I want people to mistrust each other, but approach with caution. Anything can end anytime.
Okay.
Mimi wajua huwa naangalia kwenye hela because nishaijipata kwenye hivi vitu. Tanzania hapa nishawaiwekeza. Sio kusema naendelea kwa sababu kuna binadamu wengine pia nao wanasikiza. Nishawaiwekeza huko. Swala la hela, tuseme ni asset. Ni pesa tu. Okay, tuache niseme
inaweza kuwa pesa, inaweza kuwa gari, inaweza kuwa shamba
hivyo, lakini acha niseme pesa. For example, mimi na Miriam tunataka kuwekeza. So tumekuja na mustakabali wa kiwango cha hela. Miriam yeye ndiye ambaye kwamba ametoa pande kubwa la pesa. Tuseme ni milioni 1 lakini ametoa 700,000. Mimi kwenye hilo nimechangia 300,000. Ndio mtaji ukaja, ndio tukaanza biashara. Tumeshakubaliana. So inakuja kwenye sehemu ya ugavi wa kile kipato, ama tuseme ni profit whatever, kile ambayo inapatikana ni ambayo sisi tutakuwa tunajilipa, na pengine baada ya kulipa wafanyikazi. Legally hapa huwa inafanyikaje?
Tunaenda na ile asilimia. Tukiangalia asilimia yako ilikuwa asilimia 30 na yake ilikuwa 70. Hivyo ndivyo tutaenda. Hivyo ndio itafikia ya kuwa ugavi wa mapato ambayo yale yametoka pale itaenda kwa hiyo asilimia ya kile ambacho ulileta ndani. Lakini wajua mapato inahusisha wakati mmeshatoa gharama zote. Kama kuna wafanyikazi wanalipwa, kama mmoja wenu alikuwa anafanya pale, lazima yeye mwenyewe alipwe kando. Unanipata? Wewe umeinvest kwenye salon,
Ndio.
Lakini mwenzako ni msusi. Na yeye ndiye
so tuseme mimi ndio nimechangia 30%, alafu mimi bado nafanya kazi hapa.
Sasa wewe lazima ulipwe kando
kama mfanyikazi.
Hiyo ni haramu. Si haramu. Hata kama ni manager, sababu utapata mtu mmoja atasema mimi anachangia asilimia 90. Lakini wewe asilimia yako 10, wewe ndio utakaa pale, utakuwa pale kuanzia saa 2 asubuhi mpaka saa 2 jioni. Wewe ndio utafanya kazi hii na hii. Haujamwandikia mkataba wake wa kando wa kuajiriwa pale. Sasa ni vizuri mkiwa katika mpango kama huo, yeye pia awe ni kama kando na mwekezaji, yeye pia ni mfanyikazi. Kama ni meneja analipwa 100,000, analipwa 100,000, kisha pale kwenye kugawa mapato ndio sasa mgawe.
Sasa yeye pia anapata mapato.
Ndio
mwekezaji mwanzo, kisha lazima
but the person is also getting paid the salary.
Yes, but they contributed. Even if it was non-monetary and it was their idea. I've given a classic example of a salon.
Yes.
They know how to manage a salon. So you with your money, you don't know how to manage a salon.
So we pay them as a manager.
Correct.
And then we also share the profit.
Correct.
Okay.
Because who's benefiting more in this instance?
Ni wewe mwenye asilimia zako nyingi, lakini umemlipa huyu.
Ni mfanyikazi wako kwa upande mmoja,
so lakini yes,
ni investor mwenzako,
lakini pia ni mwekezaji, ni investor. The brainchild of the whole thing ilikuwa yake. So why do you want to cheat them? Why do you not see the
I'm
point?
not talking about cheating. I'm just
hapo mahali ni pagumu sana.
Kwa nini?
Because now
jiweke hapo wewe.
Sheria ni ngumu.
Sorry to interrupt, but jiweke hapo wewe umefungua gereji. Hauendi popote, kuna car wash pale.
Niko hapo.
Lakini yule mwekezaji mwenzako, seme ni Miriam, yeye amewekeza milioni 5. Wewe wewe ulimwambia tu kuna biashara nzuri, kile nimekosa tu ni pesa. Unafanya kila kitu pale, kuna mapato na kuna kila kitu. Kisha yeye aje aseme mimi nimewekeza milioni 5,
faida achukue yote.
Faida nataka kuchukua sababu wewe hujawekeza chochote. Mwanzo akulipe, kisha baada ya hapo ndio muelewane katika kule kubuni ile
kuna malipo pia.
Kuna malipo.
Yani hii kitu ni complicated.
Hapo ndipo tunaita kimombo ile intellectual property, because ilikuwa brainchild yako. Yeye na milioni zake 5 angetaka kuwekeza kwingine, angezipeleka kwenye benki, aweke kwenye fixed deposit, afanye kivyo vyote, lakini pale anaona kuna mapato zaidi. Wewe ndio umempa hiyo idea.
So idea pia legally inalipwa.
Idea. It's your idea, by the way.
Lakini vile tulivyosema, tukiweka katika ile checklist ambayo alikuwa amezungumzia, jambo la kwanza lazima muelewe ya kuwa si ndoa. Jambo la pili, muandikishane katika mkataba wowote ambao mko nao, umeandikisha chini, mnajua kila kitu, nani ameleta nini, nani atatoka na nini. Alafu pia lazima baada ya hapo mjue ugavi utakuwa vipi. Yes.
Can one party claim the other person's contribution if there was no written agreement?
They can claim, but now this is where now you have a lot of conflict. You have a lot of conflict. People take each other all the way to the courts because of interpretation of this aspect of not unwritten, but we call them we have express and implied contracts. So when we have an implied contract and we have a problem, then we have to ask for the court to give us interpretation of the same, because ideally you need to have written contracts.
Yeah.
Even if you don't go to a lawyer and everything, but write your intentions, have the other person endorse on it on their signature, write the date, keep a copy, and then the other person does the same. You don't need to go to a lawyer and all that. Of course, it would be better if you go to a lawyer for it to be given the right kind of legal input. But if you're unable to do that, just write something down or have a basic understanding. And you see in today's world, even some WhatsApp messages, some text messages have been construed to form part and parcel of a contract.
Yeah.
Legally binding.
Okay, so I want to take you back to, I think this also goes beyond people in a relationship.
Yeah.
At times you sit down with your friends and you're thinking, oh, this is a brilliant idea.
Correct.
Let's put our money in it, right? So if it's a case of friends who are doing this, and let's say we sat down, I had an idea, and then I called you, and then we sat down and we had a conversation, and we're like, oh, this is a brilliant idea. So we all go in together. Usually there's a conflict of, like, okay, we had a meeting together and we had this conversation. There's always a conflict of who owns what and who calls the shots, right?
Yes.
What should, especially with friends, what should people put in place? Because we find it hard to also fight with friends. Yeah.
The script is the same. Maybe we can just say that we've taken it to a different theater, but the script is the same. You need to define the relationship between these friends. Let's say you've come up with a chama. If you don't have a partnership deed that dictates the terms, have a constitution. The constitution will dictate how one can enter and how one can exit. What happens to the investment of the person who is exiting at the point that they're exiting. Let's say you had done a chama for 2 years, or maybe 3 years or 4 years. Other people go to as long as 10 years. Then all the contributions you are contributing, let's say 2,000 per month, all the contributions have gone all the way to $1 million plus. You have invested in a property. So this property, movable or immovable, at the point of exit of one person, remember that money is not available. It has been invested.
Yes.
So you have to look at this person's contributions vis-a-vis the investment that is there, because there is the original contribution that maybe may be amounting to 100,000, and then the interest that has been gained in terms of the profitability of the asset that you got.
Yeah.
Then you pay them off. Then even better, in the event that you are unable to do that, the best constitutions that I've seen is that someone looks for another person to buy them out. How much they sell their equity or their contribution or their stake depends on what has been agreed upon by the other members. Yes. So in all instances, try and have a contract. If you can't have a contract, have a constitution, which is also a basic contract between people and how they're relating with each other, and then dictate the terms as to the good times, the difficult times, and the worst times. What happens?
Okay.
Yeah.
So that you don't lose a business and a friend.
Yeah.
Now hapo umezungumzia wakati biashara ikianza mambo wao ni mazuri
Sana.
For example, mimi na Miriam tuko na mpango.
Naam.
Ni mambo ni mazuri. Inafikaga mahali.
Yes.
Mambo yanatan kama venye umemention tu after umeongea just recently hapo.
Naam.
Ikiwa vitu haviendi vile vinavyostahili kuenda na kuna mgongano baina ya mwekezaji mimi na mwekezaji Miriam, ni vitu gani ambavyo kwamba kikanuni na kisheria vinatumika kutatua huo mgongano na mvutano?
Vitu ambavyo vinaangaliwa ni uliekeza nini, ulileta nini. Hilo ni jambo la kwanza. Jambo la pili, kama mlikuwa na chochote ambacho kimeandikwa ama makubaliano yote ambayo yalikuwa yameafikiwa hapo mwanzo, ya kuwa kabla ifike hili ni kwa mfano. Kwa mfano mlisema hakuna kubanduka kabla tufikishe miaka 5. Kisha we mwaka wa 3 unataka kubanduka. Kisha unataka uende ulipwe. Utakuwa umeharibu makubaliano yenu. Kwa hivyo hulipwe. Sababu nimetayarisha hata kama wakili stakabadhi ambazo zinaambia watu kuna kimombo wanaita lock-in period. Sasa kabla ya muda fulani uishe, sababu hatutaki watu wanaingia wakitoka. Ukitaka kuondoka, basi ile pesa yako imekunywa maji. So kile umeniuliza ni lini zinazingatiwa. Jambo la kwanza, umeleta nini? Jambo la pili, kulikuwa na makubaliano yote kama imeandikwa ama haijaandikwa. Na jambo la 3, tukiangalia biashara yote na hali ya kutoka katika mgogoro huu, ni kipi kitaumia zaidi. Sababu hata sasa tukiwa tuko na kesi zingine tunafanya, na hakimu amekuwa ametuangalia ya kuwa anatuambia wewe mteja wako anataka kuharibu makubaliano. Huyu mteja wake anataka kunufaika mahali hapa husiki. Lakini ukiangalia kile ambacho mnakizungumzia si kitu ambacho kinafaa kuharibiwa hivi. Example, mlianzisha hospitali ama mlianzisha shule. Hospitali hii ina wagonjwa ama shule hii ina wanafunzi. Mgogoro wenu ambao unataka kuvunja makubaliano yenu itafanya nini kuhusiana na wale watu mlikuwa mnawapatia huduma? Ndio maana hata wakati mwingine koti inakuja inasema kabla mkubaliane mgogoro wenu, tunaweka mtu mwingine awe msimamizi ili kile mlikuwa mnataka kuachieve pale mwanzo kiendelee kufanyika. Msiumize watu wengine kwa mgogoro wenu. So there are so many considerations that come into play.
I think there's a lot of consideration. I think for me what stands out is have an investment agreement. And have that conversation before you say, I'm in love. So before
you may be in love, and then when the idea comes in later, to invest together, because I don't think people wake up and decide I'm going to invest with so and so as a prerequisite to a relationship. But when the time comes, just the stronger you are in terms of openness in discussing business, strictly business, the stronger the relationship will be. And if you blur the lines, then you don't know the line in between this and that, then the weaker the relationship is. Because you find some people kama wewe sema umewekeza Tanzania, then you break up and everything, but you can still do the business because maybe you've left a manager to do it. All you get is one time meeting in the year, maybe a virtual meeting, and then you share profit. If it's a good thing, why should it go down? Because the relationship has come to an end, right? Indeed. And those are the structures that are supposed to be put in place.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much for making time today, Lawrence.
Pleasure was all mine. Thank you so much.